Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're taking a look at the Patek Philippe reference 5035R annual calendar. And first I'd like to remind you that we're here at JB Hudson Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I'll also remind you that we'll be leaving a link in the description to this watch and to JB Hudson's website in case you want to purchase this. We'll also leave a link in the description to our channel store where we feature our favorite watch accessories as well as timepieces. So definitely check that out as we constantly update it with new products. So now let's jump right into this watch. And as I said, this is the Patek Philippe reference 5035R annual calendar. And this is one of my favorite Patek Philippe's, to be honest with you. It has many unique features that make this watch very underappreciated. And this particular example is on sale here at JB Hudson for $26,400. And for a complicated Patek, I think that that's very reasonable, especially given the recent spike and the history that this watch has. So this is the first annual calendar ever, and that makes this watch very significant in the Patek Philippe range. It was initially developed to kind of fight off the quartz watches that were developing in the early 90s and 80s. And this watch is very significant for that reason. There are some other kind of quirks of this piece that make it kind of unique. And first of which I'll just mention right away is if you see the number 4 on this watch, you can see that it's the Roman numeral IV. And on literally every other watch that I've seen, it just has 4 eyes for the number 4. And this is very common among all clocks. So I think it's very unique that they chose to actually use the proper script for the number 4 on this and the proper Roman numerals. And there's numerous theories as to why most clocks have 4 eyes. It's tradition at this point, but some of the theories I've heard is that King Henry VIII was too dumb to read the IV as 4, and I've heard other theories that and this is true, that in earlier iterations of Roman numerals, it did have I as 4, but nevertheless, this is kind of unique, just that it has the IV, especially when compared to other clocks and watches. So now I'll go over the overall case. So this is the 5035R, so it's got a rose gold case. It is 37 millimeters in diameter, which makes it a great dress watch size. It might be a little bit small by modern standards, but I think 37 millimeters is perfect. So you can see the movement on the back, which is the Patek Philippe 315 SQA movement. And the 315S movement was actually just a normal dress watch movement, but this does have a added annual calendar plate to facilitate the annual calendar complication. And for those of you who don't know, an annual calendar is essentially, it knows how many days are in each month, but it does not take into account leap years. So if you want to take into account leap years, you have to get a perpetual calendar, which is much more expensive than an annual calendar. But you can see the overall finishing on this watch is absolutely beautiful. It has both perlage and Côte de Genève, as you'd expect on a Patek Philippe movement. So now I'll try this watch on for a wrist shot. And just as I'm doing this, I'll comment on some other unique features of this watch. And namely, this watch has loomed hands, and for an annual calendar and just a Patek Philippe dress watch in general, this is not a common feature by any means. And furthermore, it also has a running seconds, which is probably an artifact of the fact that the movement in this watch is from a standard dress watch. But a running seconds is a very cool feature to have. One disadvantage of this watch is its rather wide power reserve range of 38 to 48 hours. I think that's pretty low, to be honest with you. But if you have this watch, to be honest, you probably already have a watch winder anyways, but that is something to take into account. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe and share. And if you're already a subscriber, definitely make sure that your notifications are on so you see the great content we have coming towards you. So again, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.